When the lights come on, she's ready to rise. Donnelly steps up with faith in her eyes. Puzzle pieces fitting, stars up in the sky. With every prayer and song, she'll make your spirit fly.
She's got the voice that can heal the soul. Singing, gaming, she's on a roll. Star Wars battles to her prayerful light. Donnelly's shining through the night. Shine on, Donnelly's, you light up the way. Singing, praying, bringing hope today.
From puzzles to the force, you're always on. Donnelly's,
You're our shining star. In the game or the prayer, she's standing tall. With every step, she answers the call. Blessings in her heart, light in her soul. With Donnelly's, we're ready to roll.
raise your hands, feel the groove. With her faith and her love, you can't lose.
From the galaxy far to the prayers so deep, Donnelly's is the joy we keep.
Shine on, Donnelly's, you're the light we need.
With every song and every prayer you lead.
From puzzles to the force, you're always on. Donnelly's, you're our shining song. Shine on, Donnelly's. Shine on.
Good morning, good morning! How's it going? Happy Friday. It's been a while, starting to wake up a bit, and made a comment to the parental unit that I certainly wouldn't mind if he brought over a coffee today. I feel that in my soul. I feel that in my soul because I needed coffee this morning as well. There we go. Still got a bit of a cough, but that's okay. That is okay. I've got my humidifier unit back here working. Hey nerd, how's it going, West? Sup, my dude? It's Friday, my dudes. You're not used to waking up quite this early? Oh yeah, that's fair, that's fair. I am sadly used to being up very, very early. My headphones have a long cord, so that's what I'm working with, is I'm adjusting that, so that way I can make sure my posture is correct. So, it is Spooktober Day 3. This would have been Day 2, but I ended up playing and streaming with some friends last minute last night, so that was Day 2, which makes this Day 3. And so it was so worth it. So worth it. Totally worth it, and looking forward to getting back into a more normal routine. I feel that. I totally feel that. Yeah, sometimes, like, my body just will not let me sleep past about 7:30. Even if I've stayed up all night, it goes, yeah, it's 7:30. You need to be up. You need to be up. Today it woke me up a good 10 minutes before my alarm, because I needed to go to the bathroom. And so it was like, hey, you need to go to the bathroom. Get up. Go. Go. I'm like, fine. So what do you guys have planned today? So we are going to be playing a game that I have not touched in a year because I wanted to play this on stream and play it with you guys, and it totally fits the Spooktober vibes. So Soul was amazing and gave me a wonderful script that summarizes what we covered last year and gets you guys caught up to where you need to be to understand what's going on in the game at this point that we're at. Got your homework done early this time like a good student, so yeah, you get to enjoy the break, and you get to enjoy the break you get between my stream and class. Yes! I am so proud of you! Joe boy, good morning! Good morning, good morning! Now I will issue this not family friendly warning again before we play it, but this game is a not as family friendly game. You will see why when we go over what we learned last year. Normally we do play family friendly games here, but this one fits the Spooktober vibe so perfectly. It doesn't really have any jump scares or anything like that, so it's more the storyline that's not as family friendly. And so just kind of giving you guys a heads up, but we will go over what we learned last year in this case that we're solving. So, what do you guys have planned today? Let's see. I got laundry done last night, so I just need to put that away because I was exhausted last night, so I didn't put it away, but I got it all washed. So after stream, I will put that all away. And then we are going to basically just kind of go with the flow. I got to watch the new season opener of Heartland, and I am so excited with what they're doing this season. I cannot wait to see how things pan out. It's one of my mom's and my favorite shows of all time. And so we're definitely going to be keeping up with that. I do need to catch up on Grey's Anatomy because as much as I'm like, it's so soap opera-y now, I just can't stop watching. Especially when they do a season finale like they did for season 21. You know? So, it pans out in the end. And then let's see, I might have Pathfinder tonight. Depends on how the GM's work schedule goes today. It's my day off, so I'm like, hey, I get to do all the things that I want to do. During one of the ad breaks, I will probably run downstairs to replenish my water supply. And then, other than that, not really a whole lot planned. So, let's see, what else is there to catch you guys up on? It was a slow week at work this week, which is good. Because sometimes you just need those slow weeks, you know? Those weeks that show you it's okay to just slow down and do your thing. And then, let's see, Alana was really, really good this week. We had a couple of leaders out just with like trips and things like that, but we also had less kids because one of the school districts had fall break this week and the other one didn't. The day, you know what would be really nice is if all school districts in a town went on break at the same time. That would be fantastic. If they could all agree, all right, as a city, as a town, we are going to go on a break at this time, from this day to this day. This is when our fall break is, this is when our spring break is, this is when, we'll take Easter off, you know what I mean? Like, if they could, like, condense to be all on the same schedule, that would be great. But anyways, it ended up working out because we had less kids due to fall break and less leaders, so it kind of balanced it out. And I was able to get a couple of verses said in the book that I'm going through, because I'm going for my citation award, which is the highest level Awana award that you can get. And I'm on track. I am on track to get it done this year, which makes me so happy. Let's see, what do we got? I've got some noties. Okay, we're good. All right. So, I think that's all there is really to catch you guys up on. Tomorrow we have another 8 a.m. stream, and then I have D&D, hopefully, assuming the GM's sleep schedule allows it. And I think we're going to be rolling new characters, which is going to be so cool. I am thinking, I need to think what kind of a character I would want. I really do, because right now we are all level 13, so I don't know necessarily why we're rolling new characters. I don't know if he's planning on bringing that to a close, or if he's wanting to do that on a different day, and those that are able to make it on that different day are able to... I gotta talk with the GM about that, and be like, yo, what's the plan with these characters? But, yeah, other than that, just a normal weekend. Go with the flow, chill vibes. And then let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all there is. I'm gonna be showing my age here. That's all there is. There isn't anymore. Do 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 do. From the classic Madeline animated TV show. I loved that show. Only character you've played so far has been a druid. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Yes! I actually have... Let's see, what was my other... Just for kicks and giggles, I rolled a new character. Let's see. What did I make her? I want to say I made her a bard rogue. Let's see. I do play a druid in the Pathfinder campaign, so that's pretty cool. Yep, I was right. She is a bard rogue. Igni finally gets to turn into a dinosaur. Yes! One of the characters in the campaign I'm in on Saturdays, she plays a... I want to say it's a monk druid. I think. Either way, she is like obsessed with getting to turn into a dragon. She loves getting to be a dragon, and so that is like she lost the scroll because she used it up enough, and so we're trying to get her to be able to do that again, or at least she is. She's trying to get another scroll where she can turn into a dragon again. And I want to say she turned into a fairy dragon. I'm excited to get to see you play as a dinosaur soul. That'd be so cool. That'll be so cool getting you, like, what kind of a dinosaur does Igni get to turn into? Is it any kind of a dinosaur? Or is it like you can only be like a T-Rex? Or can you pick like any kind of dinosaur that comes to mind? So you guys, let's go ahead. You know what? Oh, you think the DM is going to let you pick one? I love it. That is so cool. Yeah, with that DM being as generous and gracious as she can be with things like that, that makes sense. That makes sense. So let's go ahead and pray, you guys, because I am excited to dig into and dive into this game. I love getting to catch up with you guys so we can keep the conversation going. But, oh, a pick one and stick with it sort of thing, so gotta choose wisely. Okay, that's fair, that's fair. So, if you have any prayer requests, I do have a point redeem called Please Pray For Me for 1 point. And then that'll put it in my activity feed, so it pops up both in chat and in my activity feed. So that way I am guaranteed not to miss it. Right? She's generous, but not that generous. Exactly, exactly. And then I turned back on the Sing rewards. Oh, and that is true. We can't forget her rather devious side. And I included and made a couple new... Well, one of these was made for me. But I made one emote and had another one made for me. I might need to make that second one a bit bigger, but I don't know. I don't know how I could. But it's my Bitmoji praying. So that's my pray emote. And then there's the Donna Scared emote. That one was the one that was made for me. That one was actually from the last, that one was from the last repost stream that I did before last night. That was from Spooktober Day 1, where we call her Pickle Lady. She scared the you-know-what out of me. You're in a little bit of trouble. What's going on, West? What happened? I need to know. I need to know so I can pray for you. Let's see. The prayer emote does seem a little small when side by side. Yeah. Let's see. How does it compare to all my other ones? Let's see. Yeah, that is kind of small compared to the other ones, but it's about the same size as the no. That's interesting. Twitch be kind of weird sometimes with the sizing of the emotes, because it automatically resized it. So maybe what I need to do is make it a bit bigger. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So I can work on that for sure, but it's a good placeholder for now. It's definitely a good placeholder for now. So if you have any prayer requests, feel free to drop them in chat or in that point redeem. I'll look up partway through prayer to make sure I don't miss any. And then we'll dive into the recap of the game that we're going to be playing. Galaxy, thank you for the lurk! You sent out a laptop without a charger? Oh no! Oh no! Do you still have the address and you can send it separately and just be like, sorry, somehow this ended up separate. Is there any way that could work? Praying that definitely ends up the way it's supposed to. Alright, you guys, let's dive into some prayer. Dear Lord, thank you so much for today and for who you are and how much you love us. I ask that you be with each and every one of us in a new and mighty way today. I ask that you just reveal yourself to us today. Be with Tie-Dye Chef Dave as it's his birthday today. I ask that you just bless him and let him just enjoy the day and feel loved and celebrated, Lord. I pray for West, that he's able to figure out how to get the charger to the laptop that he sent out, and that it doesn't end up being too big of an issue. I pray that you be with Soul as she goes to class tonight. Thank you that she was able to get her work done. Help her be able to understand what's taught tonight, Lord. Be with her dad and just touch and heal him, Lord, and just let him come to know you more. I ask that you be with Galaxy and just throughout his day and everything he does, let him feel your presence, Lord. Be with Dusty Disciple, be with Kishu, be with Bearded Beowulf and give him guidance and direction. Be with Catherine Naomi, Lord, and just let her feel your guidance, your direction, your presence, Lord, your peace. Be with anybody who's looking for a job, Lord. I know there were a lot of people in Samson's stream yesterday who are looking for a job. So I ask that those who are looking for a job in today's tough job market are able to find a job. I ask that you be with Joe Boy and everything he does today. Lord, just be with everybody who's here, not here, and will come and join us, Lord. Let us just have a fun time, Lord. Anybody who's struggling physically, whether illness or injury, Lord, be with them, Lord, and heal them. Anybody who's struggling mentally, help them, Lord, as well. I ask that you just to be with just anybody who needs to come and know you, Lord. Soften hearts that need to be softened, Lord. Open minds that need to be opened and eyes that need to be opened, Lord. Be with Pastor Dustin. I know he was just struggling with some thoughts that are not of you, Lord. Help him be able to continue to combat those worries, Lord. Your word says you did not give us a spirit of fear. And I just ask that you remove that from him, Lord. I ask that you just give Kishu the words to say whenever she talks to her friend Tyler about you, Lord. Open his mind and his heart and soften where there needs softening, Lord. Let us have a fun time today, and in your name I pray. Amen. But it is unfortunate. You also need a candle that smells just like a put-out candle. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I'm glad they can at least be made aware of the situation. Alright, you guys. So again, this game is not my usual family-friendly. We are working to solve a mystery. Let me change the category. Soul, you'll be happy to hear there are 426 followers of this game. So you are not alone in your love of this game. Alright, I'm gonna pause the music because this requires no music. 1 year ago on stream, Donna stepped into the role of Ichika Hoshino, a rookie police officer raising her grumpy teenage brother in Shinjuku, Japan. She works in the Special Regions Crime Prevention Office along with her supervisor Mochida and her best friend from the academy, Sayaki. Their team works to track down and root out Adonis, a fearsome terrorist organization which, over the past several months, has been wreaking havoc all over the prefecture. Adonis's reign of terror began in April when they posted an online video of a group of kidnapped police officers bound to chairs. Although the first video was initially deemed to be nothing more than a sick joke, things took a turn for the worse in May when a subsequent video was released. in which the officers were publicly executed via gunshot. Similar attacks followed month after month, counting down to what Adonis called X Day, set to occur on the beginning of the new year, when they vow to finally revive Japan into their ideal image of a society once and for all. Their targets were not always law enforcement, but seemingly random civilians as well, some as young as middle school, all judged and executed by Adonis for their alleged sins. While the circumstances surrounding the cases differed, each X-Day incident could be attributed to Adonis by a Roman numeral, often written in the victim's blood, and a signature coin left at the scene. In response to Adonis's heinous crimes, the government placed Shinjuku under lockdown and issued firearms to every citizen 18 or over to be used for self-defense if required. One night, while investigating a call, Ichika is knocked unconscious. She wakes up to find herself in contact with Adonis through a poison collar on her neck. They inform her that they are monitoring her through the collar and have chosen her as an experiment to prove her sense of justice before X-Day arrives. If she fails to do so or reveals the truth of her situation to anyone, they will send a signal to release deadly poison through the collar, and she will die. She is then found and rescued by a so-called detective agency, full of ex-cops who were informed of her situation by Adonis. Though they are initially suspicious of Ichika, as she's been labeled by Adonis as a potential sympathizer, they agree to work together to bring down Adonis and put a stop to X-Day before it's too late. The group consists of Eiji Yanagi, the thoughtful, level-headed leader of the group and all-around best boy, as Dana and Sol both agree, Takeru Sazazuka, a skilled hacker who used to belong to a part of the police force's cyber crimes division. He's very blunt and can rub a lot of people the wrong way, particularly Donna, who considers him a know-it-all, and he is a know-it-all. He says whatever's on his incredibly sharp-witted mind, even when it makes him come off as a total jerk. At least he's well aware that he's being a total jerk, but boy oh boy does he own it. Kakeyuki Shiraishi, a quote-unquote creepy eccentric guy who works as a profiler. I really don't like him either. His enigmatic and off-putting personality has earned him a hate club led by his subordinate Eriko in the crime lab, with the only other member being Sakuragawa, Ichika's friend in forensics. I would surely join too, though Sol and their mutual friend Kiara will defend this man in his exceptional route to the end of days. The last ex-cop in this group is Mineo Enomoto, whose route we're currently on. He's a loud, overdramatic history nerd who wears a fake eye patch in honor of the infamous samurai Date Masamune. He's also a hopeless romantic who wears his heart on his sleeves and is super awkward around women. This includes Ichika. Whenever he briefly forgets about the whole potential terrorist sympathizer thing, that is. For reasons currently unknown, the group is also being watched by a Secret Service agent named Kei Okazaki, though it is supposedly for their own protection. The special force he belongs to is notoriously good at what they do. He has a habit of popping in unannounced, much to everyone's chagrin, especially Ichika's. Okazaki is still an active member of the police force and the only one who does not know about the poison collar, putting her life in jeopardy if he were to find out. In our playthrough, Ichika chose to investigate X-Day's beginnings with the abducted and murdered police officers, the same case to which Enomoto has been assigned. Over time, Ichika noticed that Enomoto appears to be having a particularly difficult time with the case, which seems out of character for him, given his passion for justice in every other regard. In fact, he seems almost afraid to investigate further. Discouraged by Enomoto's distrust in her and her lack of progress in uncovering the truth, she sought out Enomoto's former boss, Kenzo Sadaki. Sadaki revealed how it was the April and May incident that led Enomoto to quit the police force. His trusted mentor and moral compass, Yuta Fuji, was among the group of officers rounded up and executed by Adonis for alleged sins. Though Enomoto recognized Fuji immediately, the higher-ups made the fatal mistake of dismissing the video as a prank at first. Fuji's body was the only one to be found by Enomoto. Shaken and disillusioned, he resigned shortly after. Yanagi later took Enomoto under his wing at Sadaki's request. When we left off, Ichika was struggling to reach Enomoto, who still doesn't trust her just yet. I also didn't do the best job of that, and would have gotten my very first bad ending as a result. But because I was unwilling to face the consequences of my actions, we're gonna just pretend that that didn't happen, and we're gonna carry on as though everything's fine. So the last bit of dialogue that we had was Enomoto saying, I've always avoided this place, so how did I end up here? Hoshino's gonna give me an earful. Nothing good can come from working with her. Did I used to have that much passion? Who's there? And then he got knocked unconscious, and it turns out it is his boss. That is true. I can imagine a lot of people probably like it as well. That's a good point. Alright, hey Sam, how's it going? Alright, switching over to the game screen. Checking system data. Yes, former boss Sataki, but yes, exactly. Alright, so that catches you up to where we were. We're solving a mystery. Let's see, we can do this. Get all the way through these. Wait, what do you mean by that, Sam? Here we go. Alright, load is complete. I'm late. I wonder if Kazuki ate dinner. As I worried about Kazuki, I saw him talking to an unfamiliar man when I arrived at my house.
それじゃあ、明日
Doing
はスタジオで。
well. How are you?
楽しみにしてる。
Where have I seen that man before? In any case, it wasn't appropriate for him to be hanging around a high school student this late. It'll be too late once something happens. I have to nip it in the bud somehow. I have to nip it in the bud now. Only slightly in trouble today, so just another Friday. There we go, West. Excuse me.
一か。誰？ああ、こいつはですね。
I'm Kazuki's sister, Ichika Hoshino. I introduced myself, as Kazuki didn't seem like he was willing to. The strange man slapped his fist into his palm as if he'd suddenly made a mental connection. I mean, if it's a case of this game being a little too intense for you right now, that's totally fine. This is just our game for the month of October.
そういえばアキトが、和樹にはお姉さんがいるって言ってたっけ？
So he knows Akito too. Akito is Kazuki's best friend. But that doesn't make me feel better. This guy's even got lip piercings.
はじめまして。一色康弘です。和樹くんと一緒にバンドしてます。
Oh, he's in the band with him. Okay. I can get behind that. I'm gonna scoot the... I'm gonna scoot this over a bit. That way I'm hopefully not covering up any of the dialogue. There we go. Oh, Mr. Ichika? Akito had mentioned his name. He had been mistakenly arrested in the past. I'd never imagined that I'd be bumping into him like this. To think that Kazuki would actually know someone famous enough to be on TV. I couldn't tell from a distance, but now that I was up close, he was definitely the guy from TV. I believe he was introduced as the vocalist of a visual K band. Or Kei? Kei band? Maybe? Sorry, Japanese is not my first language.
あんま一色さんのことジロジロ見るなよ。
Ah, I'm sorry. I just...
見られるのも仕事のうち。だから大丈夫。
His appearance was flamboyant, but Ishiki seemed to be a composed young man in person. So you're in a band, Kazuki? You could have just told me.
はあ？なんでいちいちお前に言わなきゃいけないわけ？興味ねえくせに。
That's not...
こんな時だけ姉貴面すんな。迷惑なのだよ。
Kazuki! She's trying! She's trying! Yes, and I'm sorry to hear it's been a rough day. At least that's what I'm kind of gathering, is it's maybe a rough day. Kazuki was being unusually harsh. I couldn't think of anything to say to him when...
和樹のお姉さん、
Yes?
今度聞きに来て。和樹の演奏。すごくかっこいいから。
Ishiki smiled, and that seemed to alleviate the tension in the situation. Yeah, I'd like to see that sometime. Kazuki's eyes widened in surprise, but he immediately turned away again. Every time Kazuki goes out at night, he takes his guitar with him. Let me pull up my... Because since I'm live, it's harder for me to see whispers right away. Let me pull this up, so that way... There we go. Alright, go for it. I thought he was just having fun, but he was actually practicing in his band. I mean, you're always more than welcome to share on stream, and I'll let you know if it's something that's not good for stream. That a professional was praising him was proof that Kazuki had been working hard. Mr. Ishiki, please take good care of Kazuki.
こちらこそお願いします。
Ishiki returned my sentiments, bowed politely, and left. Thank you for the lurk, Cobra! He feels very mysterious.
歌うと変わる。
After that one comment in passing, Kazuki quickly went inside. Hey! Don't leave me behind when we're in the middle of a conversation. I rushed after him. On the way in, I asked Kazuki if he was hungry. He quietly nodded. K is pronounced like the letter K, means the or style, so it's called visual K for how theatrical it is, which you can see in the character design. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Sol. So I was right the first time. K. Thinking that he'd like something hot, I made a pot au feu. Kazuki ate in total silence, without uttering a word. Oh, meaning type or style. That makes sense. That makes sense. Our meals usually went this way, but now I knew about his band. I wanted to talk about that today, at least. Hey, Kazuki, what kind of music do you play with Mr. Ishiki? He's a visual kei performer, so are you similar in style? Oh, right. How old is he anyway? He's definitely not the high school age. He couldn't attend school with that hairdo. When I rapidly asked all of the questions I had,
うるせえな。どうでもいいだろ。
band-wise they draw a lot from glam, rock, punk, and metal. Nice! You don't have to talk to me like that. Dispirited, I recalled what Kazuki had complained about to me before. Excuse me. You don't care about what I do. You just tell me I'm too loud. From Kazuki's point of view, I've been an obstacle to his pursuit of music. Of course, I never intended such a thing. I wanted to support him however I could. That explains a lot about their relationship. Kazuki continued to eat, unaware of what I was thinking. He looked like he just wanted to finish and go into his room as quickly as possible. Listen, Kazuki, I never meant to stop you from enjoying or pursuing your music. I only warned you when you were playing guitar because I didn't want you to disturb the neighbors late at night. I'm not into music, but I know it's not every day that a pro acknowledges your skill. Maybe you think that I don't care, but we're family, you know. Of course I'd be interested. Uh-oh. Here, water. I handed Kazuki a cup of water and he downed it in one gulp.
急に変なこと言うんじゃねえよ。
Huh? Kazuki made an unpleasant face as he muttered quietly.
興味あるとか、そういう。
You're getting admitted to the hospice care since your cancer's returned and chemo is no longer the only option to replace the pulmonary valve, so they want you to get admitted for a month of observation to check and see what can be done, so you won't be able to get online after that. Oh. I'm sorry to hear that, Sam. Here you thought I had a very manly cough, right? Right?
お前今まで俺がやってることとか詳しく聞いてきたことねえだろ。お前だけじゃねえ。親父もおふくろもだ。俺が何をやってるか、何をやりたいのか、そんなことを一度だって聞かれたことねえ。
Kazuki didn't meet my eyes, but his voice was gradually rising in volume.
一言目には新宿は物騒だから帰ってこい。二言目には音楽はほどほどにして勉強しろ。三言目はお前は実家を継ぐんだからしっかりしろ。
Back in Niigata, our parents managed a boarding house. You're going to inherit this someday, Dad would often say that to Kazuki.
口うるさい親父から逃げるためにここに来たってのに。
To get away from Dad. That phrase shook me. Even though he was at a rebellious age, I'd always assumed that Kazuki would take over the family business, but he was talking as if... Kazuki, do you... Kazuki looked straight at me and said,
家業を継ぐ気はない。俺は音楽で食っていきたいから。ごちそうさま。
Kazuki said that in a muted voice, and then quickly retreated to his room. He always left without saying a word, and I realized that it had been quite some time before he'd even said as much as thanks. Why didn't I try to get to know Kazuki better earlier? He must have felt so frustrated and alone. Don't pretend to be my big sister. Huh. It made sense that he'd say that. I'd been focusing on myself, never bothering to take an interest in Kazuki. So it's still not too late if we can have a heart-to-heart. Really? At this hour? I took out my phone. There was an incoming call from Satake. It might be about the murders. I resisted the urge to talk to Kazuki first and answered the phone. Oh, my light went out. Hold on. I can fix this. We're gonna do it live. Here we go. Oh. There. Got caught underneath. There we go. Perfect. All right, since we're at a stopping point, well, it's not a waste of prayers. Definitely not a waste of prayers. Lord, right now we pray for Sam. We ask that you remove the cancer if it be your will, Lord. Give the doctors wisdom and give Sam peace. We also pray for Cobra that you heal him from COVID as well. And in your name I pray. Amen. Exactly. Nothing spent in prayer is ever a waste. Yes, this is Hoshino.
お嬢ちゃん、落ち着いて聞いてくれ。榎本が。
Eh? What happened to Enomoto?
俺、こんなことになるなんて思ってもなかったんだ。もう榎本はダメかもしれねえ。最後に
Wait,
一目
what?
会いに来てやってくれ。
What? His last... Wait, what do you mean?
来ればわかる。場所は歌舞伎町の。
I wrote down the location and ended the call. Enomoto. I contained my rampaging emotions and went to Kazuki's room. Sorry, Kazuki. I just got a call from work, so I'm going out. I hurried to the location that Satake had given me. Satake's strained manner had led me to assume that they had been caught up in something serious. This doesn't look the way I was expecting. I looked for the place indicated on the note. I started to recognize more of my surroundings. Then I saw the pub that Sayuki and I frequented. Huh? I was in a panic when I first noted the address down, but now I realized it was the address for the pub. What's going on? No, it's never a waste, Sam. Never, ever, ever. And it's okay to ask for prayers for ourselves. It's okay to. Because that's how we know that you need prayer. How do we know you're going through something if you don't tell us? That's my 2 cents anyway. I gingerly entered and looked around. When I did, I found Enomoto sprawled out over a low table. Enomoto, pull yourself together. I rushed over to check whether he was alive.
もう飲めない。
Enomoto was certainly alive and was in no immediate danger, but he was obviously drunk. What? Where's Satake? That's a good question. Where is he? Satake was nowhere to be seen in either the tatami room or the rest of the pub. Miracles happen every day, Sam. Miracles happen every day. And sometimes those answers don't look the way that we think they will. We can pray for healing and that healing doesn't happen this side of heaven. And that's okay. It doesn't mean the prayer was wasted. It was still answered, just not in the way that we expected. I wondered what I should do about the passed out Enomoto.
こちらのお客様のお連れ様からこれを渡すように頼まれたんですが。
Excuse me, the customer who was with him asked me to give you this. I was handed a letter. Oh, thank you. I accepted the letter and opened it. I invited him for a drink when I saw him so worried, but it went south. I'll let you take care of the rest. You're his partner after all. I thought some kind of tragedy had struck, but he'd just gotten too drunk? This is insane.
さたけちゃん、もう飲めよ。
That's a good point too, Soul, because God wants to hear from us. He wants us to tell him what's on our hearts. And he will answer, even if it's not in the way that we want. And so it's never wasted. Never, ever, ever wasted. Enomoto didn't notice me. He smiled contentedly and moaned while lying spread out on the table. I can't just leave him like this. I'll have to take him back to the office. Can you hear me, Enomoto? We're going back to the office.
オッケーオッケー。二次会だな。
Wrong. Come on, stand up.
次は日本酒かな。扱いな。
He was way too far gone. I'd just have to ignore him and drag him home. Come on, we're going home, Enomoto. Please try to walk.
任せください。自分足腰には自信があるであります。
Enomoto leaned on my shoulder to stand up shakily and tried to go outside.
世界が揺れる。なんだ、この世の終わりなのかな。
Well, it's not necessarily using us. Because you've built this relationship with us, right? So because we care about you, we want to pray for you. Does that make sense? Because we care as fellow believers, we want to be there for you. Now, if you feel like, I don't know, I had a thought and then it ran away. I had phrasing and it ran away. Right? I'll never not laugh at him using the phrase ambulatory abilities in lieu of just stating that he can walk. There we go. Hopefully that'll help. The world isn't ending. Come on, we're going home.
世界が終わる前にもっといろいろしたかった。
Oh, and now he's crying. He's crying. While supporting the thoroughly intoxicated Enomoto on my shoulder, I called for a taxi. You've asked a lot for prayers, but that's okay because you're going through a lot. Does that make sense? Because there's nothing too big or too small. If you're going through a lot, we're going to be there for you. We're going to pray for you. Ad break starts in a minute.
おいしいラーメンが食べたかった。
You sure love ramen.
さようなら。俺のイーソバター海鮮コーンわかめ豆乳チゲ
Oh my
ロサンゼル
goodness.
スープ。
That's one crazy ramen flavor. A taxi picked us up outside the pub and somehow we made... Excuse me, somehow we made it back to the office. Enomoto, can you walk?
おあ、こんなん当然だろ。余裕で駆け上がっちゃうぞ。
Enomoto tilted over and plopped down onto the pavement.
おかしいな。
Alright, we'll be right back. Enjoy those ads. we're back from ads.
Hello, sweetie.
Gigi! Thank you for the follow! Hope you're doing well. And no, not a bother at all, Sam. Just trying to explain to you our thought process. Exactly, we're called to pray for our brothers and sisters in all circumstances. Rejoice with those who rejoice, weep with those who weep. There should be someone in the office. Should I call for them?
大丈夫きっと登れるおい口がうまく回んねえ
Was Enomoto's current sorry state because of all the alcohol? Probably. Enomoto can't hold his drink, huh? Well, it depends. How much has he had? Alright, I'll help you get there, so let's try standing up together.
ああ俺天下取るぜ
He wasn't listening. Fine then. Enomoto almost lost his footing while traversing the stairs, but we finally managed to get into the office. Yanagi and Sasazuka still aren't back?
我が城に到着
Enomoto? Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that. Let's see here. No. I've got him on low. Oh, I see. There we go. There we go. I only took my eyes off him for a second, but he immediately charged headlong into a wall. Oh my gosh, Enomoto! Are you He seemed fine.
なんかすごく眠い
Wow, Enomoto, you can't sleep on the wow. Enomoto, you can't sleep on the floor. I'd brought him back, but now what was I supposed to do? Maybe if he slept on the sofa. Oh wait, his bedroom area is in the next room, I think. I'll take him there. Enomoto, we're almost there. Just hang on.
俺だって頑張って
Gah! Don't curl up into a ball. You're really heavy. Right? He seemed fine after charging headlong into a wall and laughing about it. I half dragged Enomoto into the nearby bedroom area. Somehow I managed to guide him to his bed. I breathed a huge sigh of relief. Phew! Enomoto, are you feeling better?
ワカメが襲ってくるもう食べれないってこれ以上増えるなよ
He seemed to be having some sort of nightmare, but he'd probably be fine now. I'll be going home then. It had been nothing significant, but it still left me exhausted. I wondered what to do about leaving the door unlocked if I left, but Yanagi would probably be back soon, so maybe there wasn't a real need to worry. Just as I turned and quietly tried to leave so that I wouldn't wake Enomoto up, he suddenly bolted upright in bed. Whoa! You scared me! What's wrong?
なんかあっち。
Before I could stop him, Enomoto whipped off his jacket and then immediately started trying to strip off his shirt. Ah! Stop! It's the middle of December. You'll catch a cold.
だってあっち。
But you can't go to sleep in this lightly dressed. But you can't go to sleep this lightly dressed without a heater. When you drink alcohol, you only feel warm temporarily. You'll feel better if you just lie down for a bit, okay?
わかった。
Enomoto's hands fell away from the button he was trying to undo, and he lay back down. I should cover him with a blanket. I approached the bed. Eh? Enomoto's hands tugged at me, and then all of a sudden...
抱き枕。
Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness. Enomoto? What do you think you're doing? Uh-oh. Wait, hey! Don't you fall asleep? I'm not a body pillow! I tried to extract myself from his grasp, but... maybe because he was half asleep, he held on to me pretty tightly and I couldn't escape.
なんか星野の声がする。
Yeah, it's me! I'm still here!
そうなのか。
Enomoto, if you don't cut this out right now, I'm going to get angry. Enomoto stirred and then looked at me while still hugging me.
なんだよ、怒るなよ。お前、黙ってりゃ超可愛いのに、ほんと気強いよな。
What?
ああ、星野マジ可愛い。本当に可愛い。超天使。
Huh? It took me a moment to understand what he said.
と、可愛すぎてやべえよ。
My head grew warm as he continued his dazed, babbling. Okay, yeah, time to go home. I made up my mind and tried to squirm even harder than before. What was happening? Enomoto was embracing me even tighter now. This was too much, even for a joke. I had to tell him more firmly. But then...
わかんねえ。なんでだよ。
sad little whispers. Somehow, I knew exactly what he was referring to. His feelings about the murders. His feelings toward the killer. His feelings about his justice. I hadn't heard him express all of his feelings yet. Perhaps they were more pure than I'd realized, and that was why they were too heavy for him to let go of. He had probably drunk himself into this stupor tonight to free himself from all those heavy feelings. So, maybe I also have to accept him for who he was right now. as a body pillow by a man, which is terribly embarrassing and demeaning. But if this helps Enomoto feel better, just for now, then just as I thought that, Enomoto suddenly stirred. The movement brought his face, well, he had positioned himself so he was right up against my chest, and my heart began pounding rapidly. Enomoto? You're squirming a bit too... I mean, this is really quite embarrassing, so... I managed to get that out. Right? Excuse me, good sir. I am not a body pillow. Huh?
お前いい匂いするよな。
What?
どうせならもっと直接感じたい。
That was not the reply I'd expected. Closely? Closely? So he means... I raised a protest, but I wasn't able to wriggle free of his grasp. Enomoto moved slowly. And then...
Oh.
Oh no. The office window opened. Ah. I locked eyes with Okazaki in the window.
ごめん。お邪魔しちゃったね。
I screamed inaudibly. But Okazaki sized up my situation and didn't have a particularly strong reaction to it.
二人はそういう関係だったんだね。
He nodded to himself. No, Okazaki, you see...
大丈夫。俺さ、口硬いからね。豆腐の角並みに硬い。
That's not sealed very tight at all. Enomoto, please explain to Okazaki that this is all a misunderstanding. We're not... Of course he falls back asleep.
どかすの手伝おうか
Please. Okazaki graciously helped me out of my humiliating bind. Enomoto must have to be a very heavy sleeper because he never woke up. That was exhausting. I wanted all those heartbeats back. Thinking that, I went home. Oh, we're gonna run into Kazuki's friend.
次のカウントダウンが近づいていますが、準備はできていますか?
Uh-oh, that is the voice of Adonis, warning us that the countdown fast approaches. An artificial, hated voice that grated on my ears. I hated secrets, so that's why I hated this fake voice. But I had to obey this person. The restraint around my neck killed my emotions.
その日、大事な用があるの。夜でもいい？日付が変わる前に必ずやるから。
当日に実行さえしていただければ構いません。
よかったー。ヒロ君の復活ライブだけは外せないもん。
ああ、彼ですか。青春を謳歌するのも結構です。執行者としての断罪はお忘れなく。
Who's the second voice?
わかってるよ。ちゃんとやる。記憶消されたくないもん。
I touched my restraint and thought back to that moment. I've never experienced anything as fun in my life ever since. It was something that only I could do for the person I loved. The truth filled me up. So I wanted never to forget it.
私ほどヒロ君のことを思ってる子なんてこの世界にはいないよ。これこそ愛のパワーだから何だってできるの。
My next job had absolutely nothing to do with Hiro. Oh, so that's young Hoshino. That's young Ichika. Okay. Interesting. But it would lead to a sparkling future for the both of us.
さっさと終わらせてヒロ君とライブの後に愛し合おうっと。
So she's remembering back when she was little. I did? Oh, so that is present day. Okay. Interesting. So then I wonder if we're not... I don't know. So then... Is that what her voice sounds like? Because that was not the voice I pictured in my head. That was not the voice I pictured in my head for Ichika. I only wanted to protect my own justice. This violent, malicious world which oppressed the weak was so ridiculous. That is why I chose to act. Justice would never fall to evil. I decided that I would prove it myself with my own body. I believed that I could prove it. Until the day came that all would be overthrown. Oh, it was so... Okay, I was like, it's either... Because at first I thought that. At first I thought that because I was like... I think I'm just so used to playing, like, with I referring to Ichika, that I was like, wait, we switched views? We switched characters? So now we have another girl that's also apparently being used by Adonis. So there's two people. Fascinating. What lows will Adonis reach next? Today I was off for the first time in a while. Normally I'd take the time off to stretch my wings and relax, but... I touched my collar and sighed. Since I haven't made much progress in the case, I can't afford to relax on my day off. No new X-Day crimes had occurred since the fire on the 8th. However, we were inching closer and closer to X-Day. I still haven't heard from Enomoto. The more I thought about it, the worse I felt. No, I can't be depressed first thing in the morning. I finally have a day off, so I should do things that I can't do normally. One of them was talking to Kazuki. Wait. Oh, I see. Right. One of the things on her to-do list.
音楽で食っていきたいから。
Ah, the game will do that from time to time, jumping into the point of view of other characters, some of which you've not necessarily met. Okay. That's kind of cool. That was the first time Kazuki had been truly sincere with me in a long time. But I was called away right afterwards, so we hadn't had a chance to continue the discussion. I have plenty of time today. This is my only chance to talk to him. I gathered myself and went to Kazuki's room. Are you awake, Kazuki? I waited, but no answer came. He doesn't have school, so maybe he's asleep? I'm coming in. Uh-oh. I opened the door and peeked inside. Oh, still sleeping. I was thinking, uh-oh, maybe he's like... Maybe she walks in and he's gone or something. Kazuki was sleeping soundly. I could hear his breathing. He's so cute when he isn't talking. I remembered all the times when we'd played together before he'd become so caustic. If we can make up, I wonder if our relationship can go back to the way or will return to the way it was. That is true. It's an organization, not just one individual. So one person could be keeping an eye on Ichika. Another one can be keeping an eye on girl B. Maybe there's a girl C. That makes sense. While reminiscing, I directed my attention back toward Kazuki. Kazuki sleepily blinked a couple of times and our eyes met.
何勝手に入ってきてんだよ。
Sorry. I knocked, but you didn't answer, so...
だからって人の寝てるとこ無断で入ってくるとかありえねえだろ。
I said I'm sorry. So hey, I wanted to sit down and talk with you today.
話？んなのどうでもいい。今すぐ出てけ。まだ眠いし。
Well, wait. I want to talk.
知るか。
Hey,
出
Zeph!
てけ。
How's it going? How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Are you feeling better? But...
出てけって言ってんだろ。
I made him mad. I had knocked, but maybe it had been a mistake to enter when he didn't answer. Maybe. I mean, I see Ichika's reasoning. She wants to make sure that he's still alive. But maybe just peeking in and being like, okay, it looks like he's sleeping would have been the better way to handle it. But there was no reason for him to get that angry with me. Things are going well. Just chilling. It's my day off. I got laundry done last night, so after stream I'm gonna be putting all of that away. Got home about an hour ago from the doctor's appointment. Foot is good. Doc told you to reach out to the PCP about migraines and find a solution for it. Yes! Oh man, I'm glad the foot is better. Let's see, migraines. I know there's all different kinds of medications out there for it. Are they just like constant these days, or do you get any relief? Because one of my friends, he just has constant head pain, and it's just one of those. Sometimes it's a dull pain, and sometimes it's really, really bad, but it's always there. Is that the case for you, or do you have some relief? I thought I'd finally taken a step closer to my brother, but reality wasn't so kind. In that case, I'll get ready for breakfast. I headed back to the living room. Then... Huh? Who could it be so early? Yes?
俺だけど。
That voice. Enomoto? I opened the door, and standing at the door, there he was. What's wrong, Enomoto?
ああ、いや、その...
His eyes are trembling. So, what are you doing at my house?
え？別にあれだぞ。ストーカー的なあれじゃねえぞ。
The harder thing for you is when it starts and when to know when the appropriate time is to take medications. For the most part, you get 4 to 10 days a month with a migraine, and it seems not to be unrelated to lady things. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, that's rough. Oh, man. that time of month can be so hard for so many. I hope that they're able to get you a good medication that'll take away those migraines and that you're able to at least have less pain during that time of month. That would be fantastic. Lord, right now we bring Zeph before you, that you just give her and her primary care doctor wisdom in how to treat these migraines, that the right medication and the right dosage are able to be found, and that they help Zeph to feel better. Amen.
ちょっとお前に用があったから住所を白石さんに聞いてたな。そしたら今日うっかりタイミングよくお前が非番だって言うから。
Calm down. I'm not scolding you.
ああ、そうだよな。
Oh. I was curious about why Enomoto kept fidgeting, but I also wondered why Shiraishi knew both my home address and my work schedule. I mean, it's Shiraishi. It's Shiraishi. He has his ways of knowing. Yeah, this is Shiraishi I'm talking about, so it's best not to dwell on it. Oh yeah, Shiraishi is definitely Creeper Central. So in this game, we have this guy who's the history buff, and he's very, very awkward around women. We're still working to earn trust with him, because he thinks that we're working with the bad guys. But we're also working to solve a case together, and so we're trying to build that rapport. Shiraishi works with us, and then, but in a different unit. And then you have Sazazuka, who is their cybersecurity guy. So that would be the guy that I would be like, yeah, he clearly would know, because he is the cyber dude. He could just like hack into it and figure out where she lives if needed, you know, that kind of a thing. But then we have Yanagi, who is best boy. He is so sweet. There you go, he's Shiraishi, that's why. That's the right response. Exactly. Would you like to come in?
いや、それはダメだ。
Why not?
俺は今日ここに男としてけじめをつけに来たから。
As he made that declaration, Enomoto dropped down onto both of his knees.
ゆうべは不埒な真似をして悪かった。
He prostrated himself.
いや、わかってる。こんなもんじゃ許されねえよな。だから一発でも二発でも殴られる覚悟で来たんだ。
Oh!
人思いにやってくれ。
Right, he is! He is a good boy! He's my second favorite. He's my second favorite. Yanagi is my favorite. Enomoto is my second. Enomoto raised his head, closed his eyes, and grit his teeth. Wait a minute. What? Why do you want me to hit you?
遠慮すんな。俺は逃げも隠れもしない。煮るなり焼くなり、串刺しにでもしやがれ。酔ってたからってあんなこと。弁解の余地なんてねえこと分かってる。
Drunk. Ah. Enomoto was apparently kneeling because he was sorry for drunkenly taking advantage of me last night. Yeah, no more drinks for Enomoto. Amethyst, good morning! How are you? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we need to make sure Enomoto does not get any more drinks. He doesn't need any more. That was... Well, I know you didn't have any bad intentions.
いや、お前に不埒なことをしたのは事実だ。このままじゃ俺の収まりがつかねえんだよ。
But you still don't have to kneel. You'll get your clothes all dirty.
構わねえよ。俺はお前に罵られても踏みつけられても文句言えねえんだから。
I won't do that. You've done enough. Please stand up.
いや、そうはいくか。
You came all the way here to apologize to me. I accept your apology. It'll just bother me if you stay there, so... Oh, good! I'm glad you were able to get a nap and that it helped. You know what? Sometimes those naps are exactly what we need. Naps are biblical. Naps are biblical. At long last, Enomoto relented and finally stood up.
マジで申し訳ねえんだけど、俺記憶が曖昧でさ。
Yeah, that's what happens when you have a few too many, Enomoto.
お前に抱きついたのもおぼろげで、他になんかやらかしたりしてないか？お前。
I mean, we had some drunken confessions, but nothing bad. Nothing bad.
おい、どうした？お前、顔が真っ赤だぞ。
It's nothing.
まさか。俺、口ではとても言えないような、あんなことやそんなことをしたんじゃ。
No, Enomoto, you didn't. No, you didn't. Can we just stop talking about it? I think they both kind of like each other. I think she's kind of early stages. She's also kind of not wanting to make him feel bad because she knows he had no ill intent. And she's just trying to build this trust with him. He's a good boy, but you'd say he's third favorite. Second is Shiraishi, but you were extremely leery of him going into, so you'll concede. My perception of him as creepy is valid. Yes, very valid. No, you didn't. Can we just stop talking about this?
思い出したくないくらいひどいことをしちまったんだ。
No, Enomoto! No! Do you really? He
土下座や
does!
串刺し程度
He
で肩
does
が
look
つく
like a
話
little
じゃない
puppy
のは分
dog.
かった。
No, it's not what you think, Enomoto. You didn't, go too far or anything. Huh?
かくなる上は責任を取って俺がお前を嫁に。
Oh, he's proposing! Everything's fine, really. I'm going to get angry if you don't knock it off.
待て、今の渾身のプロポ。分かったよ。黙りゃいいんだろ、黙りゃ。
Enomoto pursed his lips and looked timid. I feel bad, but I don't think my heart could take it if you brought it up again. What was that noise? Enomoto, are you hungry?
少しでも早くお前に謝ろうと思って
Oh,
朝飯食わないで来たから。
my heart! He's a stickler for the strangest things.
ひとまず帰るわ。本当悪かったよ。それと昨日の俺相当面倒な酔っ払いだっただろう。なのにわざわざ
Right,
事
give
務所
him
まで。
sausage and eggs. Yes,
マジであり
yes.
がとな。
Not at all. You carried me to the office before, remember? We're even.
いや、俺は男でお前は女なんだからおあいこにはならないって。この借りはいつか必ず返す。
I wonder how much of that comes from shame and honor society that Japan has. Right? You better.
朝っぱらから邪魔したな。じゃあ。
I was about to start making breakfast. You haven't eaten, so would you like to have breakfast with us?
気持ちはありがてえけど、遠慮しとけ。
Is this because I shot down your proposal?
昨日あんな迷惑かけといて、どんな面で朝飯なんて。くそ、空気読めよ。黙れ腹の虫。
Learn to take a hit, stop box. Enomoto punched himself in the stomach, but he apparently put too much force into it. Oh, Enomoto. You don't need to literally beat yourself up over this. Now he was doubled over, clutching his stomach. Are you okay? Yeah, he definitely put way too much force behind that, if he sounds like that. It sure doesn't look like nothing. Breakfast will be ready soon, so please come inside and wait.
いや、だからそれは。
If you don't, I won't forgive you for yesterday. Wait a minute, Ichika! Wait a minute! You already said you apologized, so you're taking back that apology? If he doesn't come in, I take issue with that. I take issue with that. Come right in. Enomoto stiffened, so I herded him inside. When he did, he seemed to resign himself and took off his shoes in the entrance. Right? It's like forgiveness is forgiveness is forgiveness. It is not contingent on whether or not said person you've forgiven takes you up on your breakfast offer. But at least he's going to eat. That is true. That is true. Here are the vegetables. Oh, I need to wipe the table. I put down my knife, picked up a dishcloth, and turned around.
3.1415926539832938932346
Pi? 3.14159265 What is he chanting? 3.14. Are those the digits of pi? I recognize it at the exact same time. Alright, sounds good, Sam. Report back with what you have to eat. Inquiring minds want to know.
264332799502884848491971.
Ah, that is true. That is true. She may not have been serious and said that to snap him out of it.
69393751058209749444。どうした？
Why are you reciting the digits of pi all of a sudden?
それは緊張を和らげるためにだな。
Yeah, that's all it is, Sam. He's just nervous. He's just really, really nervous.
だってよ、女の家に上がるとか、その、
Oh, I accidentally cut him off on his dialogue. Enomoto blushed and fidgeted while nervously looking away. Oh yeah.
避けられる？ああ、それはあれでしょ。あいつ女に免疫ないから。女と1対1で話したり目を合わせたりするだけで胸が苦しくなるらしいよ。
3.141592653589799338. There we go. I memorized back in middle school. I rounded it up to 3.14159265 So 141592654 9 places. How far did you memorize it, Zeph? Is that how far you memorized? Let's see, how far is that? 3... 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18? I recalled what Sakuragawa told me. Though he was here out of remorse for his drunkenness yesterday, now... You're adorable, Enomoto. You already bought a few things and you're making fried rice. Nice! I love fried rice. It's one of my favorites. I often need to look that up. I remember up to the 8th digit past the decimal. Gotcha! Very cool! I remember memorizing it because it was on my my graphing calculator. You have the most tragic track record. You only had it up to 3.14159. Yeah, my graphing calculator took it all the way to rounded it all the way up to the 9th place. So 3.141592654. But I always loved pi because it goes on forever and ever. And hey Soul, was it McD who had pi wrapped around the room? Or was that at our high school? Because I remember one of my math teachers having pi starting from about the middle of the board and going all the way around the room. Yeah, I thought so, because that sounds like a McD thing to have. That really does. Right, he is so adorable.
は？可愛いってなんだよ。俺は可愛くなんかねえし。
Yes, you
可愛いっ
are.
て男に使う言葉じゃねえだろ。それ言うならお前の方が。違う。
Yeah, he is like obsessed with history. So he is very much a history buff and a history nerd. And very, very smart. You were also gonna say it sounds like something she would do. Yes! He really is cute. Look at that, admitting to the crush. Go, Ichika! I just wanted to pinch his cheeks. I can't. He has a hard time talking one-on-one or making eye contact. Right. Maybe that was why Enomoto was suddenly acting so withdrawn. I quickly wiped down the table, doing my best not to look at Enomoto. This is true, hence the fake eye patch in honor of a famous samurai. Exactly. Sounds good, Seth? When I went to bring food over to the table, I stole a glance at Enomoto, who had suddenly calmed down. Enomoto was examining a photograph that I had on a bookshelf.
あ、悪い。ジロジロ見たりして。
I don't mind. This was taken at the entrance ceremony to middle school. Kazuki and my parents were standing next to me in the picture.
真ん中の制服姿のがお前だよな。
Yes, yes it is.
ちょっとうつむきがちだし、今と随分雰囲気違くね。
Yeah. Back then I was more negative than I am now.
マイナスって。ひょっとして学校で。
No, it wasn't because I was bullied or anything like that. Well, my little brother was very talented when he was young, and I was always compared to him. My parents didn't expect anything from me, and it felt demeaning. But when I look back at it now, my parents might have burdened my brother with too many expectations. That was why Kazuki had never told any of us what he really wanted to do. I felt unworthy as an older sister for making him shoulder that burden.
悪い。俺なんかが踏み込んでいい話じゃなかったな。
Oh no! As you can see, I'm not nearly as depressed as I was back then.
確かに。むしろ卑屈とは真逆じゃねえか。 通の女だったら、いや、男でも逃げたくなるような状況で前向いて耐えてるんだもんな、お前。
Are you saying I'm shameless?
ちげえよ、褒めてんだよ。ほんとすげえ強いしかっこいいよなって。
Thanks.
でも昔は違ったんだろ。なんか吹っ切れるきっかけでもあったのか。
Yes. Sometime after I entered middle school, I found a lost item and turned it into the police. When I did, the owner of the item was incredibly grateful.
ありがとう。本当にありがとう。あなたに拾ってもらって助かりました。
No, sir. I only did what anyone else would do.
当たり前のことじゃないよ。恥ずかしい話だが、私はもうとっくにお金だけ抜き取られただろうと諦めてた。でも、このお金がなかったら、私は路頭に迷うところだったんだ。それをあなたが救ってくれたんだよ。どうかその心を忘れないでください。あなたの優しさに助けられた者がここにいることを忘れないで。
Okay. Even I could be of help to someone. I gained confidence that I could help the powerless. Maybe it was a small deed to anyone else, but that's what made me want to become a cop.
そっか。その志がお前を変えたってわけだ。些細なんかじゃねえよ。俺が警察目指した理由よりよっぽど立派だぜ。
What reason was that?
刑事ドラマ。
Police dramas.
刑事ドラマ見て憧れたんだよ。それだけ。
There we go. The unnamed TV show that Mineo Enomoto likes to watch. Sometimes the characters yell and shake their fists at the sun, get lost, etc. Your passion for history went as far as your bachelor's degree, but Enomoto takes it to the next level, right? He totally does. He totally does. And I love it. I'm totally here for it.
あ、今出せって思っただろ。
What do we always say? Those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. No, I didn't do that. It just felt very much like you.
どういう意味だそれ。やっぱバカにしてんじゃねえか。
I'm not. It's rather pure. I think a straightforward reason like that is good.
そりゃどうも。
Sulking, Enomoto turned away and then pounded his hand in sudden recollection.
そういや、玄関に男物のスニーカーがあったけどさ、あれって弟のか？
Ah, yes. I live here with my brother Kazuki.
一緒に住むなんて仲いいんだな。
About that. No, not really.
聞いちゃまずいことだったか。
He's at a difficult age.
もしかして反抗期ってやつ？
Well, yes. He's a senior in high school, but he goes out all the time even though school is out. It's dangerous to be outside these days, but he doesn't listen when I tell him
高
to
3
stay
って
home.
遊びたい盛りだしな。でも、お前が心配すんのもすげえわかるぜ。俺にも年の離れた妹が一人いるんだけどよ。やっぱ目が届かねえと心配で。なんだよ。
You're a big brother, Enomoto? Why does that not surprise me? He would make such a good big brother.
そこまで驚くことなくね。どこからどう見ても頼りになるお兄ちゃんだろ。
It isn't that you don't seem like one.
どっちだ？
So how old is your sister?
今年12歳になった。今小6でよ。これがまためちゃんこ可愛いのなんのって。
Oh my goodness. Enomoto certainly doted on his younger sister, given how bashful he was being.
けど、俺は早くに上京して警察官になったから、なかなか実家に帰る機会なくてさ。もっと小さい時は、俺の顔なんか合わない間に忘れちまうんじゃないかって気が気じゃなくてな。
You really do dote on your sister.
おうよ。だから実家にこれでもかってくらい写真を送りつけてるぜ。このイケメンなお兄ちゃんの顔を絶対に忘れないようにな。
That is true.
お、なんだよ。アニバカだって思ってんだろ。ま、そこは思う存分言ってくれていいぜ。俺にとっては褒め言葉だからな。
Yes, I'm jealous that you get along so well.
しかしうちの妹はな、超可愛いからよ。悪い虫がつかねえが心配だぜ。
Enomoto's sincerely worried expression made him look like a father worried about his daughter.
男と女じゃ違うだろうけど、参考までに聞かせてくれ。お前のとこの弟ってどうだ？高校じゃモテたりする？
Based on what I've heard from his friends, it seems like he's popular.
マジかよ。彼女とか連れてきたことは？
Not yet.
けどなんだよ。
He doesn't talk about school, so even if he had someone like that, I doubt he'd tell me about it.
そっか。そういうケースもあるのか。近頃は小学生でも彼氏いたりするらしいし、ひょっとして俺の妹も。ダメだ。早すぎるぞ。お兄ちゃんは認めない。
Calm down. No one said that was the case.
そうだな。今度帰った時にそれとなく探り入れてみるわ。なんか焦げ臭い。
Uh-oh, we forgot about the food. Ah, the grilled fish. I ran back to the kitchen in a panic and checked on the grill. The surface of the fish was slightly blackened, but I could salvage it.
なあ、大丈夫だったか？
Yes. Just a moment, please. I scraped off enough of the burned bits so that it was presentable. Sorry. Thanks for waiting. I carried a tray of rice, miso soup, grilled fish, fried eggs, and vegetable dishes to the table. Wow, that's a lot of cooking there in that amount of time.
すげえ。ザ・日本の朝食フルコースじゃん。
I hope it's to your liking.
じゃあ早速いただきます。
Itadakimasu! Enomoto picked up a pair of chopsticks and reached for the miso soup. He raised the bowl to his mouth and took a sip.
これは。
How is it? Really?
マジですっげえうまい。味噌の濃さもちょうどいいし、具が大根とナスってのもいいな。
I'm glad to hear you like it. I was worried that it wouldn't suit your palate.
いや、合わないどころか超ど真ん中で俺好み。この後に米なんて食べた日にゃ。うまっ。米の硬さドンピシャ。
This makes me so happy that he likes her cooking.
日本人はやっぱ米だよな。こっちの鮭は。
Itadakimasu! You say this with avocado toast and coffee, right? Good timing. Good timing, Ichika. I want some avocado toast. I should make myself avocado toast at some point.
米に合う。やべえ、飯が進むったらないぜ。
Because I gotta have the avocado toast. Let's see. So I could have. I wonder. If I did toast, avocado, and a little bit of scrambled egg. Because I know they do like sunny side up, but I typically don't enjoy the consistency of the yolk in sunny side up. So I would think scrambled egg would be good with that. I might have to try that sometime. Would you like another helping?
No, 頼む。
And what's the coffee of choice today?
なんでもねえ。忘れてくれ。
Okay.
まるで新婚っぽいなとか思ってねえし。落ち着け。浮かれるんじゃない、榎本峰夫。
I'll bring you another bowl. Just a moment. I picked up Enomoto's empty bowl and stepped away from the table. He's awfully happy. Kazuki's never told me how he felt about my cooking, so I was happy to hear some sincere, positive impressions of my food. He's eating so eagerly. He must really like it. I scooped up a generous helping of rice and returned to Enomoto.
なんだこの卵焼きは。ふわふわでほのかに甘い。これが女子の作る卵焼きか。柳先輩が作るのもうまいけど一味違う。
Enomoto thoughtfully chewed each bite of the tamagoyaki? Tamagoyaki? Yours just has the avocado, everything bagel seasoning, and bacon. Ooh! That sounds delicious. I need that in my life. I need that in my life. I definitely need that in my life now. Duncan is pretty generous with their avocado servings. That they are. That they are. Alright, you guys, we've got an ad coming up in a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and run those ads, and I'm going to go on a quick bio break, and then grab some water, and then we'll be back. Ah, tamagoyaki is basically fried egg, like a mini omelet. Okay. Alright, you guys, I will BRB. Alrighty, guys, we are back. Thank you for hanging out through that ad break. I appreciate it. So tamagoyaki is basically fried egg, like a mini omelet. Okay. Very cool. Enomoto, I have your seconds.
Oh, thank you.
I realized something when I handed the bowl to Enomoto. Oh, little Enomoto.
Huh?
There's a grain of rice on your cheek.
What?
Enomoto froze, a bite of food halfway to his mouth. Just stay still. And now let me guess. Kazuki is going to come right out at this moment, right? Right? He's gonna smell the food, he's gonna come out, he's gonna make assumptions. While Enomoto was bewildered, I reached out and removed the grain of rice from his face. There! Got it. Enomoto?
自分で取れたのに子供じゃねえんだし。
Oh, sorry. That was rude of me.
いや、そうじゃなくて。だって今のってさ、恋人にやってほしい100の事柄のうちの一つっていうか。
Oh, lover.
あ、違うぞ。本に載ってたんだ。断じて俺がやってほしいことじゃない。ちくしゃう、静まれ俺の心臓。
Be still, my beating heart. Enomoto was being shifty again, but after a while he resumed eating. He seemed to pointedly avoid eye contact again, however.
食った食った。ごちそうさん。
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
いやー、どれもこれもうまかった。おかげで満腹。
The moment he finished speaking those words, Enomoto suddenly paled.
って謝りに来たはずなのに何おかわりまでしてるんだ俺。
She offered you the seconds, Enomoto. She offered you the seconds. I chuckled as I watched him clutch his head in shame. Enomoto, please don't make that face. As a cook, I'm very happy you enjoyed my food.
本当か?
Yes. Not only did he give me his impressions, he ate it all without leaving a single grain of rice. Please come over again if you'd like.
お前、そういうこと言うと本気?
Yeah, I'm being serious.
マジかよ。またこんな贅沢な思いできちゃうのかよ。
You're flattering me.
いや、本当に贅沢だって。毎日こんな飯が食えるなんて、お前の弟って幸せ者だよな。
Then, a door in the living room suddenly opened. Out comes Kazuki! Oh, Kazuki.
非番の日に男連れ込むとか、よくやるよな。
おい、ちょっと待て。なんか勘違いしてるみてえだけどな。
Enomoto walked over and stood in front of Kazuki.
星野は腹を空かせた俺を見かねて、飯を恵んでくれただけだ。
どこの捨て犬だよ。
Dude, Kazuki, don't be rude.
朝からうるさくて、いい迷惑なんだよ。
Don't talk like that.
あ？俺は事実を言っただけだろ。
But
星野、待った。
Enomoto gestured at me and turned to Kazuki.
うるさかったのは俺が騒いだせいだからな。そのことについては謝る。悪い。
Enomoto dipped his head in apology.
謝られても困るんだけど。
いや、悪いもんは悪い。ここは筋を通さねえと。つうわけで、姉ちゃんに当たるのが筋違いだ。
Kazuki's expression abruptly changed, and he glared furiously at Enomoto.
あんた、何なんだよ。俺に説教でもするつもり？
そんなんじゃねえけどさ、ちょっと風当たり強すぎねえか？二人っきりの兄弟ならもう少し。
うっざ。もういい。
Kazuki slipped past Enomoto and started for the door. Wait, Kazuki, do you have band practice today?
どうでもいいだろう。こんなとこにいたんじゃ気が休まらねえし。
Yesterday I'd learned what Kazuki really wanted. I thought that our relationship might be mending. But in reality, things don't go that smoothly, huh? I'll head out then. You can stay home, Kazuki.
はあ？
Please come with me, Enomoto.
お前。
I picked up my coat and tugged on Enomoto's arm.
おい、いいのか？
It's fine. Once Enomoto and I had left the house, I stopped tugging on his arm. I'm sorry you had to see that.
いや、それはいいけどさ。お前と弟っていつもあんななのか？
Yes. But I'm responsible for Kazuki becoming that way. So I don't think it can be helped that he acts that way right now.
仕方ない。なんかお前らしくねえな。
Huh?
弟のこと、本当にこのままでいいって思ってるのか？
Of course I didn't. Especially now that I knew Kazuki's true feelings.
その感じじゃ諦めたってわけじゃなさそうだな。
Enomoto looked up at the sky, a pensive expression on his face.
よし、ちょっと歩こうぜ。
え？
いいから、ほら行くぞ。
Before I could give him a response, Enomoto began walking. Wait for me! I chased after him. That is so true. I love the time they took in developing Kazuki and Ichika's subplot. It's a nice touch that adds a lot of realism to the story and characters. Yes! Because Ichika's coming from the perspective of, it's dangerous out there, I just want to protect you, and you know, I want to make sure that everybody's happy. Whereas Kazuki is coming from, man, my family has all these expectations for me and I don't think I can live up to them. And I don't want to live up to them. I want something different than what they want. But he's also worried about how they'll, like, if they'll accept him. Like, I think deep down, he's worried about whether or not they would accept his wanting to be a musician instead of running the family business, basically. And that's understandable, especially in a shaman honor society like Japan. And so I see Ichika trying to go, you know, and repair that relationship. And I also see realistically it taking time for Kazuki to realize she's legit. She's really wanting to try and make things right. And so I think Ichika needs to continue doing what she's doing. And he's also probably going, "You're my sister, not my mom," which I've been through. And so it's kind of her trying to figure out, how do I balance being his sister with being the adult in this situation, you know? And wanting to have a good relationship with her brother, and that's totally valid. And it's also valid that it'll take time for the two of them to work through everything from their past. In the evenings, I often came to the pubs around here with Sayaki. Exactly, in the midst of all the X-Day chaos and lockdown, it makes it even more difficult for Ichika to find that balance. Exactly. But it feels strange walking here in broad daylight with Enomoto.
不思議なもんだよな。
Eh? Enomoto gave voice to the very thing I'd been thinking. He had a blank expression on his face.
なんだ、どうした？
I was just thinking that it felt kind of strange to be walking with you through this area.
心の中読まれたとでも思ったのか？白石さんじゃあるまいし、できねえって。
I know, right?
まあでも、すげえ偶然だな。俺も全く同じこと考えてた。聞いたかもしれねえけど、警察辞めてからの俺って無気力でさ。柳先輩がせっかく声かけてくれたのに、全然捜査なんかしねえし。あの事務所に俺はいてもいなくても変わらないんじゃねえかってやけになってた。
Enomoto looked up at the sky and squinted.
こう心の中でめちゃめちゃ燃えてた炎が跡形もなく消えちまったみてえでさ。もう二度と火なんてつかねえだろうし、それならそれでいいかってどっかで思ってた。でも
Hey there, Mountain. Finally getting over the spout of COVID? Well, I'm glad to hear that. How's the transition to the new agency? Enomoto suddenly stopped and looked at me.
俺がどれだけ逃げても拒んでも、お前はまっすぐ俺にぶつかってきた。なんでここまでするんだ。いい加減引き下がれよって何度も思ったけど、一歩も引かなくて正直参った。
I'm sorry, but I really believed that I couldn't abandon you. I don't have skills or experience, so all I can do is give it my all. Oh, that's right. 7 months to a year. That's right.
今になって佐竹さんの気持ちが分かった気がする。ぐだぐだ悩んでる俺なんかよりパートナーのお前の方が男らしいなんてな。これじゃ
Gotta love government
男の中の
work.
男になると張り切ってた俺の立場がねえじゃんか。
You shouldn't say that. Enomoto, did you just call me your partner? Yeah, it's definitely not fun waiting, but it's all a part of the process, that's for sure. So, you've accepted me as your partner?
まあ新人にしてはなかなかのガッツだったからな。
He was speaking bluntly, but I could tell that Enomoto was doing so to try to hide his embarrassment.
つうか、お前にあそこまでさせといてまだ逃げてたら、かっこ悪すぎるだろ、俺。
Enomoto, I've been wondering whether or not my words had gotten through to him. And it looks like they did. I definitely agree with you there on especially on the working harder than you should. Like, you definitely are a guy with a great work ethic. You have a work ethic that honestly I'm like, I relate to it in a way, in that I'm like, I don't like taking sick days unless I absolutely have to. And I've had to, that's one of the blessings of my current workplace, is that they encourage taking those days off. They encourage you when you need it, do it. I remember my section manager practically singing the Hallelujah chorus the first day that I took a day off. Because it had been a year and a half because I didn't feel like I could take a day off during my probationary period when I first got my role. And so I was like, you know what, until I'm off that particular time, then we're good. I'm gonna just keep working. Dude, then use this time as a regenerating time. Use this time to find that work-life balance, because you cannot work yourself to death. That's not a life. Life needs that balance, you know? At least to me.
おい、星野
I'm so glad. Everything I'd been doing up to this point wasn't just in vain. I feel like I'm going to cry.
はなんで泣く
It's all your fault.
待て待て今までぶつかってきてた強さはどうした
This is a different situation. I was always worried that you would never trust me. You always treated me like a pest, ran away, or wouldn't listen to me no matter what I said.
不安にさせたのは悪かったよつってもこのままなし崩しにパートナーになるのはよくねえよなよしけじめをつけよ
Set it straight?
うああ
Right,
女のお前が
Ichika,
体張ってく
Animoto's
れたんだ
brain will implode.
俺も
Don't
心意気っ
cry.
てもんを見せなきゃならね
You do what your father did, work to the bone to provide and give your family what they want. This is true, but also bear in mind that you can't, you're only one person. There's only so much that you can do. And if you get hurt, or if you get sick, or heaven forbid pass away because you've worked yourself to death, there needs to be that work-life balance. Both for your health and for your family life. Because I'm gonna switch to just chatting for a minute during this. We'll go back to the game in a second. One of my favorite Mark Schultz songs is called Do You Even Know Me Anymore? And it's about the importance of that work-life balance. Because you don't get this time back. You need to have your home life and your work life and your spiritual life all in balance for the best life. God did not make us to work, 24/7. He made it where we need to rest. He made it where and he set that example. Day 7 of creation, God rested. Jesus multiple times took time away to be by himself and pray to God. And so that work, home, spiritual life all needs to be balanced. And then, that's how we're designed to be, Like, we're designed to need that time of rest. Challenge accepted, right? Right? Oh, no, the frozen pizza and Kool-Aid? No, West, no. You need to get that good work-life balance too, West. It's a tough balance for you because you care about the city just as much as your family and see the city in need and have to act. That is valid. But you are only one person, and you are not the only person in that department. they are just as able to take care of the city as you, and the city is not going to fall apart because you took a day off. You have your brothers and sisters in the department who are able to do it just as well as you. You want a job right, you got to do it yourself, but you also have to trust that those that are working alongside you are also able to handle that. You have to trust, because you were a lieutenant, if I remember right, or maybe captain. No, lieutenant. And that's valid to worry for the boys, but you have to trust that. You have to trust that you have trained them well enough that you can take a day, and they know. They know what needs to be done. You've trained them well. Now, that's not to say that if something tragic ends up happening, on that extreme off chance that something tragic does happen, that's not to say that you won't feel that loss, that you won't go through those feelings of, man, if I hadn't taken that day off. And yeah, I get that. They're family to you too. They're your brothers. They're your sisters. But you cannot pour from an empty bucket. You need to take care of yourself so that you can take care of them, so that you can take care of your family. Both work family and family. Because if you work yourself to the bone and you end up sick, injured, killed, then was it worth it? And that is true. Putting it into practice can be hard. I've been there. I've been where I felt like I could not take a day off. For different reasons than you, but I've been there. And my mental health struggled because of it. Now that I'm in a position where mental health, physical health, and all of that is prioritized, I don't worry about as much about having to take a day off. And that's great that you were able to take care of, to fill in where needed. But again, you are not the only one. You are not the only one who could take their shift. You're not the only one in the department, and feeling like you have that whole department on your shoulders, that's not a way to live. So you feel free to take those days that you need. Be there for your wife, be there for your kids, make those memories. Work will be there. And that's where trust comes in. You have to trust that those floaters can get the job done. And I know it's hard. And he needs to learn to keep that temper down. But how does he do that if you don't put him in situations where he has to put that into practice? Hopefully that makes sense. So you've got to, so sometimes leading by example means setting that example of it's okay to take a day. By seeing that you take a day to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health and physical health and your family, you're showing them it's okay. It's okay to do that. I braced myself for whatever was coming. Enomoto nervously opened his mouth and said,
俺とパートナーになってください。お願いします。
He stuck out his right hand at me. So this is how Enomoto rectifies things. Actually, I wanted to take his hand right away, but this feels uneven. To join Enomoto, who was originally working these cases, I'd relentlessly pursued him and even clung to him so that he wouldn't shake me off. When I considered how desperate I had been by comparison, I felt I needed to tease him a little.
星野、この体勢のまま放置って辛いんだけど。
Melanie! Hello, hello! How are you, my friend? And that's true, it'll take time, but that's why this job change mountain is going to be so good for you, because you can start over. You can set that now and break those habits now, so that way you can go forward. So good to see you too. How have you been? It's been so long. I hope you're doing well. Oh, sorry. Did you want an answer? Oh, okay, hold on a second. What's going on? Why is, I took control. There we go. This job is a cruel mistress. It takes and takes. It can be, only if you let it. Donna's trust meter has become a love meter. Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Ooh, let's see. Oh, good. I'm so glad that you've been enjoying them. Honestly, that was a God thing that came to my mind, because I was like, I want to be able to balance content creation and time at home with my parents. And I figured the best way I can do that is right after work, I make the video real quick, do a real quick, edit to put the what the topic is, and then let it upload while I drive home. And so by the time I get home, it's all set. And I love them. And they are so, so good. I'm so glad that you look forward to them. Are there any topics that you would like to hear covered that I can kind of research a little bit? Your instructors always said that the job will take more than you feel you can give at times, and at that point, it's how you deal with it that can make you a better firefighter. Exactly. So what they're saying is, find that balance. Yes, in a sense, you learn to push through, but also the job teaches you when you need to take the time to take a step back and reevaluate, okay, I need balance. So how you deal with it not only is pushing through those times, but also realizing I've hit a point where I can't push through. So I need to take a step back. Oh, I'm so glad you love them, Soul. That makes me so happy. And yes, I need to later today. I'm going to make a Marco Polo into our group chat. I think... Oh no, oh no. And that's understandable that they would need advance to notice, but that's where as soon as you know that something's coming up, take advantage. You know, send that request in. Let's see, so we... Nope, nope, not that one. Nope, nope. You have lots of ideas? Feel free to either put them in chat or send them to me. I would love to hear your ideas. Oh, no, no, no. I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you for the answer, Soul. I'm more looking at, am I... So... Let's see... So she says... So she said, did you expect an answer? Let's see here. There's that one. Okay, so they're the same length. They're the same length. You thought as much you just like teasing me, right? Oh, how can you guys be praying for me? Unspoken for an extended family member. Also just health. I've had a decent length of a cough for a while now. And so just for that cough to go away. And then praise. So we had a ministry fair at my church, and we had 10 people show interest in volunteering in the kids ministry. And so that is fantastic. And I love it. Thank you so much, Soul. Okay, so I guess, Soul, my question is, she just said, did you expect an answer? Is this an Emoto's response? Right? It will be. I know our kids ministry director is going to be reaching out and just kind of getting some feelers out as to, you know, where, you know, how often, you know, things like that. So what was really cool was one of them said, I want to help every other week if I can. And I think the difference made it where more people were interested was us saying, even if it's just once a month on a Sunday. That was what made the difference, I think. So I'm just confirming this is Ichika's. Because Ichika just said, did you expect an answer? So is she right? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did you want an answer? Okay. Yeah, okay, so that was Ichika. So if I say no, is that saying no to being... That's saying no to being a partner. I think I kind of like the idea. I think I kind of like the idea of teasing him a little bit. So maybe we'll go with say it one more time, just to kind of tease him a little bit. Yeah. Final answer. Final answer. You give your time every other week to help with the maintenance. That's fantastic. could you say that one more time?
あ、もう一度
That last please didn't really feel like it had enough spirit in it. I feel like I'd be selling myself short if I just shook your hand after that.
言ってくれるじゃねえか。だが
Affection!
ここで引き下がるは
Yes!
武士の名折れ。
That makes me happy!
今度はもっと気合い入れていくぜ。覚悟しろ、星野。
Oh, that is true, you would. And thank you so much for asking, Melanie. Is there anything that I can be praying for you about? Enomoto took a step back and then dropped to one knee.
星野いちかさん、俺とパートナーになってください。
I declare it from the rooftops! He shouted loud enough to rattle all of Kabukicho? Yeah, that makes sense, Mountain, that you would learn electrical as well. Enomoto, wait.
よろしくお願いします。
やだ、あの子かわいい。若いっていいわね。
歌舞伎町の真ん中で愛を叫ぶってか
Huh? I suddenly look around. We had attracted the attention of literally everyone nearby. You were one of the leads in your children's church before your divorce started. Felt it was best to stop serving and focus on our first ministries, which is our family, and then individual walks. That totally makes sense. How are you holding up with all of that? Are you holding up okay? Is there anything that you guys need? That you and the kids need? And I totally understand needing to kind of take a step back and be like, we need to focus on making sure we're good, that we're in a place where we can really serve, and that we're on a good path, and that we're strong in our walk with God before being a leader. Enomoto. Our eyes met and we nodded at each other. Tactical retreat! Yes, sir! That sound effect. We ran like our lives depended on it, hounded by a chorus of jeering voices. The secondhand embarrassment is as real today as it was the first time you played it. So much sillier that the two of them just ran away in with that sound effect. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Speaking of crazy sound effects. Speaking of crazy sound effects. I need to look this up. Here we go. Here we go. Alright, I'm gonna turn on display. I need to make that a little bit bigger. Alright, this is probably the craziest sound effect ever. Yep, this. We'll fast forward a little bit. Nope, not Dukes of Hazzard. Oh wait, hold on, I fast forwarded right. That slide whistle though! That was crazy! I love that sound effect. It's so weird and ridiculous, but it makes me laugh every time because of how ridiculous it is. And the placement, right? It's like it's right? Cars don't work like that. I put some serious effort into my run, enough to keep up with Enomoto, the former field ops officer. I knew I shouldn't have tried to rub it in like that. Right? Not what you would expect at all. I had paid the price for my deeply regrettable decision. Although I get the feeling that that was actually the right answer because the affection went up. Though it had been humiliating to do so in public, I had finally become Enomoto's partner. When I told Sataki, he asked me to stop by field ops.
おお、お嬢ちゃん。非番だってのに呼び出して悪いな。
That's alright. I didn't have anything urgent to do today.
そうか。いや、しかし、あの榎本がお嬢ちゃんをパートナーと認めるとはな。
My previous mistakes. Yes. I still don't know exactly what I can do to help him. But if Enomoto has the conviction to face the murder cases, then I want to stand with him. To do that, I need to know more about the circumstances of Fuji's death.
あんたな
I
ら
am
そう言
learning!
うと思って
Because
た
I
ぜ。
remembered her
だから
saying
ここに来
that
ても
she
らったんだ。
wanted to tease him a bit, so it makes sense that her the correct response would be to tease him a bit and make him have to do it. Excuse me. Burp ASMR at 11:45 in the morning. You know what? I think we're gonna pray right now. I feel like we need to pray real quick. Lord, right now we just bring Mountain and Melanie before you. We pray for Mountain's continued health, that he learns to find balance, that he learns that it's okay to take time for yourself, that he can trust his coworkers to take up the mantle when he needs a day. We pray for Melanie and her family who are going through a difficult time right now, Lord. We ask that you just guide them, direct them, keep them close to you, Lord. Let them feel your presence, Lord. Let them just feel you like a warm embrace. Let them just know that you're there, that you are guiding them through this time. Let them come through this strong. Let them come through this with no hard feelings, with no negativity towards each other, no hostility. Let them just be able to be the co-parents that you have called them to be, Lord. I ask that you just help them to be able to just work through this and to be an example of you, Lord, working in their life. And in your name I pray. Amen. Ooh, working in Detroit, huh? What makes you think that? Sataki reached over and picked up a file from his desk.
5月の X デー事件の捜査資料だ。藤井が殺された状況についても載ってる。
Of course, Melanie, I'm always here for you. My DMs are open if you ever need anything. If you need a listening ear, anything like that, Lord. You recently got a call from a buddy from the academy. He's working all the way out in Utah's academy and he wants you to teach a class. That's awesome! And you're very welcome. Oh, it's where your cousin is doing work. Gotcha. That makes sense. Both responses are intended to tease him, putting in the position of needing to try again. But in the correct response, she really goes all in. Ah, that makes sense. Because to me, how I interpreted it is the no was just like a total shutdown and he wouldn't ask again. Whereas, because like I knew that, knowing what I know of Enomoto, he would hear her say no and be like, oh, I messed up, and run off. Whereas for the correct response, that he would pick up what she was putting down as far as the teasing. What do I do for work? So I work for a local law enforcement agency. I work in the communications section as an admin assistant. So my coworker and we get emails from county attorneys, paralegals, other agencies, detectives within our agency, and the public. And we fulfill those requests. We get subpoenas, litigation holds, all that good stuff. We also order supplies and go and pick up those supplies, do the mail run, just anything that the section needs. And then I also, every now and then, get to go into the academy for the future dispatchers and call takers, and get to be a role player and put my voice acting to the test. So that's really fun. I'm a woman with many hats. Not necessarily logistics. Well, maybe. Because it's more, I handle the requests for the 911 calls and the radio traffic. And so they come to us and say, hey, we need this call from this case number. It really is, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Been there 5.5 years, and it is amazing, and I love my job, and I'm so blessed by it. Can't stand paperwork? That might also be a good reason to not go higher up the chain of command, because I'm sure the higher up the chain of command, the more paperwork. I had discussed the murder before and examined the video statement, but this is my first time getting a real in-depth breakdown of the crime scene. You don't think it would shut him down necessarily, especially with the outburst earlier that morning. He has a hard time letting things like that go when his sincerity is put into question, but the correct response is more clearly teasing. Just not to Enomoto, who would take her at face value either way. Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little afraid, but Enomoto had been the one to find Fuji's corpse first. I have to know this if I want to understand Enomoto's pain. Are you sure you should be showing me this?
No.
Furthest she'll go is captain. Any higher than that, it's a lot of butt-kissing politics and paperwork. That makes sense. That makes sense. He gratefully took the file from Satsuki and opened it. There was a picture of upended chairs, fresh bloodstains, and a Roman numeral painted on the wall. The shock made me want to look away, but I pushed through and carefully examined the photo. The points of interest in this picture are... a Roman numeral, a hallmark of an X-Day crime, was written on the wall. There's something odd about the Roman numerals and the bloodstains on the ground.
ああ、それな。拡大した写真がこれ
Your
にな
dad
るんだ。
retired as a chief, his father was captain? Nice! It was difficult to tell from the earlier image, but the details stood out up close. It looks like it's written in blood. Satsuki?
鑑定の結果、この文字は
Oh.
藤井の血で書かれたものだ。
Dude! I couldn't help but react when I'd heard that piece of information.
4人を拉致したってのに、他の3人の血は使わなかった。
So now it begs the question of why Fuji? Your dad said he always regretted going up to the chief's job? Oh, good! Melanie. So much of your family is retired law enforcement. I love it. I have a strong military background in my family history. And then my dad was a former police officer. So my dad was San Diego PD. Now he's a risk manager. And, but I also have Coast Guard, Navy, Army. I think that's it in my family history as well. So I back the blue, I back the military. You know, I very much am one of those that I will always say, you know, thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you do to keep us safe. Because it's something they don't hear often enough. So Melanie, next time you talk to their family, please tell them I said thank you for your service. Because they need to hear that, you know? They need to hear that it wasn't in vain. Because it's such a thankless job sometimes.
このことから犯人は藤井に対して並々ならぬ恨みを抱いていたことがわかる。
Yeah, that's a good point that he's making, because otherwise why would they only use Fuji's blood? This Roman numeral, an indicator which serves as a countdown to X Day, should be an important symbol to Adonis. But if the culprit had gone as far as to write it in Fuji's blood, that indicates obsession. That is a good point. Thank you. I will definitely make sure to tell them that. Last time you were thanked, you got a cat out of a tree, and that was like 3 years ago. Oh my gosh, Mountain. Your brother's a stockbroker? Nice! Military background in your family too. Mostly Air Force and Navy. Multiple cousins in law enforcement too. Yes! I actually work I work for the agency that Sol's cousin works for. And that is so cool! And when we learned that, we were both like, oh my gosh! Alright, May. Whoa, hold on. We've got to do this the exact way. May, Roman numeral, has been added to materials. There we go. We got to do it in computer voice. Let's see. Chair on the side. At your dad's house on the holidays, all you hear is either shop talk or war stories. Let's see. Oh! Let's see. Can we take a look at that bloodstain? I don't think it's the chair on the side. There looks like, to me, it looks like there's a trail from this chair, so it's got to be maybe that chair on the side, because it looks like maybe maybe the chair fell and then they dragged him over there. Ah, so we're just investigating. Okay. No, there are no wrong answers here. The game gives it to you. Okay.
ああ、椅子についていたのは少量の血痕のみで遺体を引きずるようなことはしてねえ。
Oh, they weren't?
つまり藤井を椅子から動かしたのは犯人じゃなく、藤井が自分の足で動いたってわけだ。
Interesting. Fuji was undoubtedly afraid, not knowing when he would die. I can relate to that a bit. I felt my collar through my shirt and looked down. Do the bloodstains on the ground belong to Fuji and the other 3 captives?
なあ、ここの血痕は死ぬほどの量じゃねえが、かなり痛めつけられたのは間違いない。次のページには藤井を発見した時の写真が載ってる。無理してまで見ろとは言わねえが、遺体の状態から分かることもあるからな。覚悟があるなら見てみな。
Oh, I don't know that I'm ready. I really don't know that I'm ready. Alright, I get the feeling that I need to give a warning that there might be some things that you might not want to see. So if you're squeamish, might want to look away for a bit. I have to face this no matter how gruesome it is. And I need to know this for Enomoto's sake. I steeled myself and turned the page. Okay, not as bad as I thought. Alright guys, we're good. We're good. I tried my hardest to keep from crying out when I looked down at the photo. This man is Fuji, Enomoto's superior, whom he looked up to. I didn't know what to say when I saw the corpse shot through the chest. Someone he respected was killed in this manner, and he was the first to find the body.
藤井は心臓を撃たれて即死だった。
This is true. First one's always the hardest.
動画じゃ着ぐるみの頭をかぶせられて拘束されてたんだが、それらが全て外された状態で藤井は壁に寄りかかるように死んでたんだ。
Ah, yeah, that's true. It is. So you're saying that he was able to move around on his own?
犯人からしたら鼻から藤井を逃がすつもりなんてなかったんだろうな。
They freed him to give him hope before executing him. How cruel. May, corpse, has been added to materials. So we looked at that. We can look at this chair. Oh, so it's both chairs. Okay. This was taken when the crime scene was found, correct? There's light coming through the curtains. But on the video, the area was dimly lit, so it was recorded at night? Also, the atmosphere seems different somehow.
お、鋭いね。現場の特定が困難だったのはお嬢ちゃんも知ってるだろう。
Yes, that's why they found the body so late.
時間帯の問題じゃなくてな、動画で使用されていたカーテンは色味や材質が違うものだった。それだけじゃない。動画から推測される部屋の広さも実際のここの間取りとは違ってた。まあ、特定を遅らせるために動画自体を加工したんだろうな。よくある手法だ。
Yep, smart criminal is the terrifying one. I see. So we looked at the Roman numeral, we looked at the curtains, we looked at the chairs on its side. We looked at the blood stain. Oh! The wall! Huh. There's something on this wall.
それじゃ分かりにくいだろう。こっちを。
Satake showed me a picture of what looked like multiple bullet holes. These were determined to be from a firearm? The May video showed the captives being shot one by one.
動画ではあえて一人ずつ殺したように見せかけたんだろうさ。しかし実際はそうじゃない。あの動画の時点じゃまだ藤井は死んでなかった。 藤井の遺体のそばには複数の銃痕が残されていた。最後は心臓を撃ち抜かれて即死だったが、それまで犯人はわざと致命傷を与えず藤井をじわじわ痛めつけながら殺したってことだ。
Oh my.
X デー事件の中でもここまで殺し方に特徴があるのは珍しい。犯人の強い意志を感じるからな。
May, bullet holes has been added to materials. Once I'd looked through the entire file, the perpetrator's brutality is what stood out to me. Had I tasted how unbearable Enomoto's pain must have been? I felt like I'd only scratched the surface. I can't believe that the party responsible has yet to be charged and is still at large somewhere in Shinjuku.
ああ、どれだけ時間が経っても風化させねえ。俺たちは追い続けなきゃならねえんだ。でねえとは藤井が浮かばれねえよ。
I don't know that I've heard of Murder on the Nile. I think I'm going to go and speak with Enomoto now. Do you know of anyone who held any grudges against Fuji? Did anything stand out to him at the scene of the crime? I think there are still things you can learn from him since he was close to Fuji and the first to discover the body.
それがいいだろうな。今のあいつならきっと口を閉ざしたりはしない。
Yeah. I nodded and took out my phone. Enomoto probably wants to capture the killer worse than anyone else. And now I think I can understand his feelings more than I could before. I wanted to help, not just to remove the collar from my neck, but simply as part of my obligation as a police officer. I truly felt that. And that is where we are going to go ahead and end for the day.
あ、柳先輩、また現場回ってたんですか?
We're gonna go ahead and save. And we'll leave it right there. I'm gonna go ahead and go to just chatting. We'll need a previously on. Yeah, you know it, because we're gonna finish. We're gonna get a little further tomorrow. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me for Spooktober. I need to go get some lunch because I am starving. I am so hungry, and it's time for me to eat. I will see you guys tomorrow. Let's take a look and see who's on that. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna raid out today. I think we're just gonna go ahead and end it. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Arizona time. And always remember, God loves you, and so do I. Bye!